Cochrane's livability rate for all of Alberta ranked number 4 on Area Vibes.
We're going to take a look at the cost of living here in Cochrane, Alberta, and compare it to Orangeville, Ontario.
Okay, let's look at the cost of living and the quality of life. Let's compare Cochrane, Alberta between Orangeville, Ontario. If we look on Area Vibes, you can see that they're quite close in the livability rank. Although, if you look a little bit closer, you'll see along all the different categories listed that Cochrane does happen to have a higher rating on each one of them.
Right, let's talk cost of housing in Cochrane. So we'll start with the rental market. I took a look on Zillow and I based it off a 3-bedroom. So in Cochrane, currently your monthly rent would on average be around $23.95. When you compare it to Orangeville, Ontario, Orangeville's coming in at $25.70 a month for the rental market. Now let's talk the average sold price. So here in Cochrane, the detached home for 2023 on average sold for $644,000. A townhouse duplex sold for about $459,000, and a condo sold for about $279,000. When we compare that to Orangeville, so Orangeville had detached homes on average sell for $1 million. For townhouse duplex, you're looking at $657,000, and for a condo, you were looking at $576,000. So Cochrane is still very affordable when you compare it to places like Ontario and BC. You'll see that that's why we're seeing a big influx coming into Cochrane. In Cochrane, what we found is that the benchmark price increased between 2022 to 2023 increased by 10%. I anticipate we're going to see another increase as we lead into the spring market, and there's still not enough homes coming onto the market, but there's plenty of buyers that are looking on the market. So we'll most likely see in 2024 that benchmark price also uptick again.
Utility rates. Now, this is a big conversation. The best thing I could suggest for you to do is go on to these websites and just pop in how much you're actually using. Look at it, say, oh, my household is using this many kilowatts. Look at it. Let's go on to one of the providers that are in Alberta. Let's go on. You'll be able to compare the two. Is it that much more or is it not? In Alberta, there's different fees. It's not just your electricity rate. You have to count in the distribution fees, the admin fees, and those can change different fees. It's not just your electricity. They'll provide a link down below giving you the Government of Alberta's comparison tool that you can do, and it'll tell you what rates the providers are providing inside of Alberta, because there is multiple choices to choose as there is private providers here. It's not government run. The other bill that you're going to have to look at is, of course, your water and sewer. This can easily be found on the Town of Cochrane website, where it'll show you the actual list of the utility rates for your water and sewer. When we look at Cochrane, Alberta and the Orangeville, Ontario town, you can see that Cochrane actually offers a better rate system than what you would find in Orangeville, Ontario.
All right, let's get into the cost of transit and transportation here in Cochrane. So Cochrane, the way that the system works is that you're based on which type of transit you're using. So they have transit locally, and they also have transit that takes you into Calgary. So for a single ride one way, you're looking at about $2.50 to $10 per ride. When we compare that to Orangeville, Orangeville actually has a transit program where they are giving out free transit for the next 2 years until January 2025. So, I guess you can't beat free, but that is only until 2025. So Alberta also sees some of the lowest gas prices in all of Canada. So based on Gas Buddy data, Alberta was number 2 when it comes to the lowest priced in this past year, where BC is at number 9. So it's good to know that Alberta is part of the federal carbon tax. So here you're going to currently pay 9 cents a litre, where if you're comparing it to Vancouver area and BC, you're looking at 27 cents per litre. Hence the variance in gas prices.
All right, the cost of taxes. The one great thing that you're going to notice right away is that we have the lowest taxes within Canada. And it's great when you're going out shopping, you will notice that difference, that there is no PST or the HST charge. You'll also see that we have the highest personal basic tax amount here in Canada as well. Alberta actually pays one of the lowest taxes on your fuel cost, which is wonderful. The other thing to note about Alberta is there is no land transfer fee tax. So that right there also is a great savings for many Albertans.
Right. Cost of groceries here in Cochrane, Alberta. So based on Area Vibes website, the cost of groceries are compared to national average is below the typical national average by 2.5 to 11.3%, except when it comes to meat. Meat is about 0.7% higher. And then when we compare Orangeville, across the board, their food costs or grocery costs are lower by 3.2 to 13.6%. So when I look at that, it basically tells me that if you're a vegetarian or a vegan here in Cochrane, it's saving you money.
All right, let's talk about the cost of healthcare in Airdrie, Alberta. As you can see here, Alberta health insurance is actually covered by our province.
Let's talk cost of childcare here in Cochrane. So it's good to note that in Alberta, the facilities are privatized. So you can have licensed facilities, you can have private facilities. It all depends. We do have the $10 a day daycare, but it really is facility based. They get to pick or choose if they want to be part of that. So it's best to check out that website to see if there's any nearby. The other thing is there is subsidies. So if you're signing your child up for preschool, it's $125 a month subsidy, flat rate, doesn't matter what you make. But when it comes to the licensed facility subsidy for daycares and childcare, you're looking at it varying depending on your annual income. Now, approximately, it was hard to get information for Cochrane because every childcare facility is private. They actually don't give out that information of what the monthly cost is. So what I did find is that with a licensed childcare for an infant in Cochrane, you're looking at approximately $1,294 a month. So when I compare that to Orangeville, it's about $1,049 a month for an infant full-time licensed facility. Now, it's good to know that Ontario also has the $10 a day daycare, so you have those facilities there as well. I couldn't find too much about grants or subsidies, though, in Ontario, so I'm not 100% sure when it comes to that.
So when we're looking at the cost of employment between Cochrane, Alberta and Orangeville, we can see that Cochrane's median household income is just over $110,000. And then if you're going to look at Orangeville, it's actually just over $100,000. So there is a difference between the two. Then if we're going to go back and look at the labor force, you can see that the labor force in Cochrane is 72.7%, while Orangeville is at 74.2%.
So let's talk insurance here in Alberta. It's good to note that we are privatized. So car and home insurance is privatized. So rates vary from company to company. Based on the Canada Drives website, they're saying that Alberta is number 3 for the highest insurance premiums when it comes to auto insurance. BC and Ontario come in higher than Alberta, but we are number 3. It's also good to note that the previous provincial government had a cap on the insurance increases up to 5%. That's no longer happening in Alberta. So we are seeing an increase year over year in our insurance premiums for automobile. If you're wondering what it would cost for insurance here in Alberta, there's actually a website you can go to and punch in your details and get a rough estimate of what you would pay. I'll put a link below. It's through the Alberta Automobile Insurance. So for home insurance here in Alberta, based on Rate Hub's website, home insurance will run you about $1,000 a month, compared to BC, which is $924 a month, and Ontario, which is at $1,250 a month. So there's many factors that contribute to your cost of insurance, and it can be right down to a sump pump, where it's located, size of the home, replacement costs, and all of that. But it is good to know that you should shop around when looking for home and auto insurance. And typically when you bundle the two together, you get a discounted rate. So I know that when I was shopping around, I found that Costco was the best insurance for me. They were through Intact. So shop around when looking for home or auto insurance.
Thanks for watching. And if you like what you're seeing, make sure you hit the subscribe button and hit that bell so you can be notified when we release our new videos.
Whether you're moving in 9 days or 90 days, we're always happy to chat. See you around town.